I am Alexandru from the Mindviz laboratory, from the Mansid Research Center from University Ștefan cel Mare of Suceava. And I am one of the authors of this paper. And today I'm going to introduce you to Tap4Light, which is an interaction technique based on finger tap gestures designed to control smart lighting systems. We implemented Tap4Light in the form of a mobile software application that enables the users to interact with the smart lighting system from the same Wi-Fi network via tap gestures captured by a 5-finger augmentation device connected to the user's mobile phone. There are many smart lighting systems on the market today, and many interaction modalities have been devised over the years, ranging from the traditional two-stage switch that everybody has in their houses to more natural input like those that involve gesture and speech commands. For example, Senichar et al. Introduced in 2019 a system that allowed control via taps and two-dimensional gestures. In 2006, Ueki et al. Introduced a paper called Creatures. These creatures are in fact luminaries that simulate a living being with an actual pulse and breathing pattern that adapt their light intensity as a response to changes in the voice intensity of the persons in the room or their touches. Other interaction techniques may involve augmented reality and media gesture recognition, such as the work of Juntunen et al. From 2016 that employs a Microsoft Kinect sensor for gesture detection and displays a graphical interface in augmented reality. But let's see how Tap4Light is different from all these systems. For once, it allows for remote interaction. The user doesn't need to sit in front of a display, stand up and perform larger gestures, or even be in that particular room. Of course, they need to be in the proximity of the system, but being in a room nearby is enough. The interaction is also subtle, because there is no need for loud voice commands or large movements. Only subtle finger movements are enough to control the light. Lastly, the tap gesture dictionary is easy to remember, as it employs only the fingers from one hand. Before moving on, I would like to define some concepts that are key to the Tap4Light interaction technique. Firstly, what is a tap? We could say that a tap is the quick movement of one or more fingers in the up or down direction. So taps can be of two types, simple and compound. Simple taps are nothing else but taps performed with one finger, while compound taps are tap gestures performed with two or multiple fingers simultaneously. So if we do the calculations, we find out that for one hand, there are 31 available simple and compound tap gestures as following. 5 simple tap gestures performed with one finger, 10 compound tap gestures performed with two fingers, 10 compound tap gestures performed with 3 fingers, 5 compound tap gestures performed with 4 fingers, and only 1 compound tap gestures that employs all the 5 fingers. We can see, therefore, that with 5 fingers, we can perform a variety of gestures that can be translated to various behaviors of a smart lighting system. To demonstrate Tap4Light, we employed several commercial off-the-shelf devices. Unlike electronic rings that capture gestures performed with one finger only, we are interested in gestures of all of the 5 fingers of the hand. So for implementation, we chose to use TapStrap 2, a wearable device that enables gesture recognition for tap gestures and several media gestures. The visual feedback is offered by 5 Philips Hue Go lamps that are mapped to the 5 fingers of the hand, and which allow for a rich palette of colors, approximately 16 million different hues by combining 3 LEDs inside each bulb. So these 2 devices connected they connect to an Android application installed on the user's smartphone via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi respectively, and enable the creation of personalized setups and beautiful scenes like the one in the picture. The gesture set is composed of 11 tap gestures extracted from the Tap2 gesture vocabulary. For example, the activate gesture that instructs the Tap4Light system to listen for commands to control the individual lamps. Selecting a lamp is performed by tapping with the finger associated with that lamp. Increasing the brightness of the currently selected lamp is performed by tapping with the index and the middle finger, which corresponds to the up arrow key from the Tap2 keyboard vocabulary. Decreasing the brightness is done by tapping the top and the ring finger simultaneously. Also, the user can select from a list of predefined colors by performing the next color and the previous color gestures that correspond to the left and the right arrow keys. Finally, a lighting effect is activated by tapping with the middle ring and the little fingers. In order to better illustrate the interaction technique, we prepared a short demonstration that represents an application scenario for the real world, and I play the video now. To conclude my presentation, I'd like to say that Tap4Light is an ongoing work that explores interaction technique with smart lighting systems via tap gestures. And future work will consider usability evaluations of the gesture set, will allow for 10-finger interaction, that is the two hands, and maybe even explore new interaction techniques by adding complexity to the system by incorporating other devices. Thank you for your attention, and I'm ready to take questions.